What is up, YouTube family? I'm back home from vacation, back in Connecticut, and in today's video I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of men's physique competitions. But first, let's talk about the good. So I have a list here on my phone. The first one on the list is it's a challenge. A challenge is a good thing, for me at least. I always look for things that are challenging. If it's not challenging, then you're not gonna grow. So the reason I did this to start is because I knew it was gonna be a challenge. It was a new kind of challenge for me, coming from like a CrossFit background, an athletic style background. Moving into that physique was already a challenge for me. The dieting was a challenge for me. And just like doing mostly the dieting, staying strict with your diet, strict with what you're eating, that was a challenge and I enjoyed that. So I did enjoy the challenge aspect of it. The second thing I have on my list here for the good is you have a new appreciation for food. So you guys, as you guys already know, if you want to do a men's physique competition, you have to eat healthy. You're eating mostly protein and vegetables. Not even a lot of carbohydrates. You're having mostly vegetables, mostly protein, and that protein is mostly chicken. So you can tell that you get pretty sick of those foods pretty quickly. So your appreciation for the foods that actually taste good rises. Also, your appreciation for the amounts of food you can have rises. So like, for example, for dinner I just had a whole bunch of watermelon. I couldn't have that during my prep. And like, I appreciated the fact that I didn't have to log anything. I didn't have to weigh any food. I didn't have to like mentally like think about what I was eating. I just ate. So that appreciation, or that new appreciation of food that I have, I consider that a good thing. And the third and final thing I have for good on my list is you get your best physique. So I know it's sad, but you feel your worst when you have your best physique. You feel like shit, but you look your best on stage. So those are my three things that are good about doing a men's physique show. It's a challenge, you have a new appreciation for food, and you get your best physique. Now, let's talk about the bad. Now we're gonna talk about the bad. So I actually have a longer list for the bad than I did for the good. So first and foremost, guys, the bad part of prepping for a men's physique show is you cannot go to social events. That's pretty self-explanatory. You go to social events, there's gonna be foods that you can't eat, there's gonna be people drinking, and you don't wanna surround yourself with that if you're trying to reach your best physique. Okay, second, guys, I have relationships lack. So your main priority when you're prepping for a men's physique show is just that. It is the prep. That is your main priority. So your relationships get put off to the side. You can't go out to lunch, you can't go out to dinner, you can't go out to breakfast. You have to go to bed early, so you can't really hang out with your significant other or a friend for that case. So yeah, guys, your relationships, your friendships, they're all gonna be put to the side during a men's physique prep, so they will lack. Thirdly, guys, you're gonna lose strength and you're gonna lose size. When you guys are restricting your calories, you're restricting your macronutrients, your strength numbers are gonna go down and you're gonna lose muscle mass. Although you are losing fat, and that is gonna make you look bigger because you're not gonna have as much fat on your body, so your muscles are gonna show more. You are actually also losing muscle mass during a men's physique prep. You're losing strength and size. So if you're okay with that, great. If you're not, don't do it. Thirdly, guys, you're gonna lose athletic ability. When you're on a restricted diet, you're not gonna have enough energy to perform athletically at your best possible ability. You guys need to be in caloric surpluses if you guys want to perform athletically. So if you're in other sports, I recommend not doing a men's physique show. Fifthly, I didn't really get a huge thrill when I was on stage or when I got off a stage. It's not very rah-rah, it's not like a pump your chest kind of sport. It's a get out there, the judges are gonna analyze you and the lights will be shining on you, but it's not like very uppity like you take football for example, or an extreme sport, or even CrossFit as a sport, people are gonna be pounding their chest, people are gonna be screaming. There's not a whole lot of that goes on, and I like that personally because it gives me an adrenaline rush. I didn't really get a big adrenaline rush when I was on stage or when I came off stage. I didn't really feel that like that accomplishment feeling. And lastly, guys, I didn't find the community all that impressive. And what do I mean by that? Okay, so when I first came to the show, when I first arrived, everyone was off into their own little groups. Nobody was really talking to each other. A lot of people were staring at each other, judging the way they looked. It wasn't really like everyone was friends, everyone was talking, everyone was introducing themselves to people they didn't know, trying to find out about their prep. Like, that's what I thought it was gonna be like, but it wasn't really like that. I only found a couple of kids that I could have related to, that I had conversations with, but it wasn't really a lot of support in the community, which kind of turned me off a little bit as well. Alright guys, so that's the bad. Now let's get into the ugly. So lastly, let's talk about the ugly of men's physique shows. So what I have first on the list is, let's see, very unorganized. Okay, so the show itself was very, very unorganized. Everything was, they posted a schedule prior to the show. Everything was about an hour over schedule, or hour behind schedule. So if check-in was at 8, it didn't start till 9. If prejudging was 11, it didn't start till 12. If the night show is at 6, it didn't start till 6:30, you know? Things like that. And I pride myself on being schedule-oriented, being on time. Those are values of mine, so those things put me off in the wrong kind of way. If you're gonna run an organization, run an event, run a professional event that people are trying to get their pro cards at, you gotta be on time, you gotta make it schedule oriented, and you gotta act like you actually give a shit. Like you actually want the freaking event to be a kick-ass event. Alright, so secondly, what I have on my list is unhealthy. What I mean by unhealthy is, first off, you're dieting down to a body weight that's unhealthy for you. You're dieting down, eating calories that are not sustainable for like living. You get crazy mood swings, you're constantly tired, you're very crabby. Like I said, the mood swings. There was points where I would have to lay in bed all day long. I couldn't even walk. Like walking felt like I was squatting 405 pounds. Like that's literally how weak you get. So that's extremely unhealthy. It's also unhealthy that when you go from being so lean and then literally 4 days after the show you gain 20 pounds. That happened to me. So honestly guys, I went from 176 the day after the show, and right now I weigh 194. So I put on like 20 freaking pounds in 5 days, and that is extremely unhealthy for your hormone levels, extremely unhealthy for your body to be fluctuating from being so thin to now having more body fat on your body. It's really just, it's not a healthy lifestyle to live. What I have next is, it's a judge's sport. So what do I mean by that? So the judges decide who's gonna win. So it's not like, there's no clear-cut winner. Like let's take football for example, there's a scoreboard and there's a clear-cut winner that team won because they scored so many points. There's not really any point system in the judging process. It's just the judges decide who they think looks better. So it really depends on what judges you get. Like some judges will look for size, some judges will look for leanness. There's no like judging system. It's each judge has their own system. I believe if there was a judging system that every judge had to follow, the sport would be a lot better because there would be a clear-cut winner, and then the athletes would know what kind of physique they would need to bring in order to win. So I kind of thought that I needed to be really lean, so I lost a lot of muscle mass and I got really shredded, but the person that won had a lot more size than me. So if I knew that they were looking for size, I would have had a totally different approach to attacking the stage. So I think that's a little, that goes along with the unorganized part of the whole entire just show. So that wraps up the good, the bad, the ugly of men's physique shows. Will I ever do one again? Who knows? Right now I'm not really thinking about that. I'm thinking about getting really athletic, getting really fucking strong, And just, honestly guys, I'm doing CrossFit. That's what I'm doing. I think that the sport of CrossFit is so much cooler. Like, it's so much more rah-rah, it's so much more community, it's so much more just like badass, honestly. So most of the videos that you guys are gonna see from here on out are gonna be athletic related. I'm gonna be talking about like diets, balanced diets for athletes. I'm gonna be talking about like how to get athletic. I'm gonna show you guys athletic movements. I'm gonna give you guys a shitload of tips on how to get really athletic while also being really aesthetic. Like, I'm not just ignoring, I'm not gonna just let my body go. No, I'm gonna stay really fucking aesthetic, but I'm also gonna be really athletic because I think they both go hand in hand. And if you only have one and not the other, then you're kind of not the whole package deal. So that's gonna conclude this video. If you guys are excited for the future of Chad Molyneux Fitness YouTube channel like I am, please hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.